I am Jackie Zarnicki Thompson, and I am here today with another member spotlight. Mary, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Jackie. Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Mary Ruiz. I live in
Ooh.
California. I'm CEO and co-founder of a company called MHAYA, and I have an amazing wife and two amazing kids and an amazing mom who I have the opportunity to support and care for each day.
Let's just jump in and talk about your Beyond Barriers experience. So, what were you looking for when you came across us?
I had recently left corporate for a spell or forever, I don't know. And I'm a Gen Xer, and I said, what am I doing to impact the world in a way that aligns with my direct mission and purpose on why I believe I was put on this earth? I came across actually a book, and it turned out it was a book written by Nikki Barua, one of the co-founders and CEO of Beyond Barriers. And I was reading that book, and I was reading another book by Brianna Scurry, who was the women's national team goalkeeper soccer, many moons ago. A lot of firsts for her, but really it was really about kind of perspective, attitude, how they saw the light and so forth. And so it really intrigued me because it was not only principally oriented, it was action oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I did a little bit more searching, then you and I had a chance to speak. And I said, I don't know for the long term what this is going to be about, but this feels right now. And my Gen X Spidey sense is saying now. I didn't really know what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Now I know because I found it. And sometimes you don't know until you found it. And
Yeah.
so ultimately, I think it was trying to find a bit of confidence as I entered my transition world of two kids finishing high school, myself in a new professional chapter, and just getting grounded in that. So I don't really know what I was looking for when I came in, but coming out of it, I know that I've got my launch pad to go forward.
What we see a lot is that particularly women, but not exclusively, who are going in this moment of transition, right? You're in a moment of transition. Either there's big life changes, or you are switching roles, or you're stepping away from work, or you're returning to work. In any of those moments, the actionable nature, I think, of what we do is really effective. And so I'm
Mhm.
glad to hear that you felt that.
And what I can tell you is it was grounding. And so if you think about oftentimes, and maybe I'm generalizing as women, and obviously the program is not specifically only for women, but from my perspective and engaging in something that I view as much more than just an event or a series of trainings, like I wouldn't even use those words here, it's very different.
Mhm.
But coming into that and just getting a chance that I took an action for myself that said, this feels right. I'm going to invest in myself, have some grace throughout the way, and do that. That alone was a solid decision,
Yeah.
right? In prompting that. And then what happened coming through, and we talked about that, it exponentially reinforced it, right? So much so that I'm as looking forward to the future on how do I pay it forward with others, and then how do I continue along this career fitness platform journey, and really one of ongoing validation, quite frankly, as to
Mhm.
who I am as an individual, not just as a professional.
Okay, so we talk about momentum a lot, this idea of developing career momentum and really harnessing that career momentum. And the goal is that as people go through the accelerator, which is the first 12 weeks of the year-long membership, that momentum begins to build. Is that something that you've experienced? What does that look like for you?
The thinking of the word momentum, I can tell. So when I'm reflecting back on this, what I'll call um, I'm going to call it the spark because it's not an end, right? Or I use the term, it's a launch pad, not a landing pad, right? And so as I'm thinking about that, kind of coming in with momentum, what is momentum? Momentum from a physics view is action, energy going forward in some way.
Right.
And I think that coming out of this beginning or this very first part of it, for me, I felt, wow, for the first time in a long time, because I really don't remember when, at least professionally, I'm coming out with a sense of intentionality. I've always had gratitude. In fact, I've been told I'm too polite. And I've been working on my little bit less gratitude, more attitude that I
Mhm.
learned in a positive way. That intentionality comes right back with when I came in feeling a bit like this and then getting grounded. Because with intentionality can come focus. With focus comes your ability to see progress typically, right? And goal setting. The other thing that I would want to highlight, because as I was transitioning into this role of CEO and co-founder, into an unknown for me, is being able to come in and view, I'll call it the 5 C's, viewing where I came in and said, wow, I am super strong on courage. I show up well. Doesn't mean I'm always behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
I'm showing up well. I have courage. It's about how do I keep moving forward, right? I have strong conviction, and I could cover the others, but the one that I was shocked that I was not focused on was having intentionality about community, because I'm busy being the community,
Right.
right? I get 5 to 10 probably pings a week, including now, on people who have been displaced from roles, on people who have kids or entering their careers, things like that. And I view that as an incredible privilege. It did not occur to me going through this that, oh, I need to build my people other than my small sort of board of directors that I have. And so for me, the real light bulb that went off was actually around community. And I think that's become even more important these last few
Mhm.
months as we get down deep into the guts of what we're doing with our startup, is the power of community. Because some days I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I just know that I'll figure it out with the help of others and in some things. So that's been extremely helpful for me. A long way to go, but that's the beauty of life. I would challenge anybody to say that we're there, and what fun would that be if that were the case anyway?
Community is one of those pieces that is really easy to overlook. And I think it is true, especially as you've risen through your career. If you think of community only from the idea of like how many people are you connected with on LinkedIn or something, right? It can feel like you've got this broad network, but the way you've talked about it here and the way I think we discuss it in the accelerator is that it's the bilateral nurture and engagement relationship that you have with people, and ensuring that you're establishing those relationships with people who can help you and with whom you can also help.
I'm a huge fan of homework. Maybe it's my generation, maybe it's how I'm wired. But one of the things that I really enjoy, I say enjoyed because it makes it sound like it's past tense, but I view it as this evergreen process. And it's like a lifelong field trip in a playground. I'm learning, I'm failing, I'm getting back up, I'm going, I'm talking, I'm leveraging, I'm learning, I'm helping, all of those things. But what I was thinking about was with community, one of the just simple actions that said is, hey, go download your contacts from LinkedIn. And first I had to figure out how to do that, which I'm embarrassed because I've worked in tech for 30 years. So let me just say that. So then I realized, oh, interesting. Then I realized how many thousands of connections. And then I started categorizing them in a way that we had talked. And then since then, I've actually carried that way of thinking forward. So for example, I've been talking about some funding and some other ideas. And I looked at some common connections and I said, this was actually just yesterday, there's 62. I said, that doesn't matter, right? I said, who are the 10? And then I went down to who are the 5? And then who are the 2 or 3 that I know I'm going to reach out now and talk. And then I'm going to get a referral into this other individual. And it's symbiotic,
Yeah.
right? It's symbiotic. And so just the action orientation and pragmatism, which I want to give props to your chief learning officer, to Monica, and all those involved, because the way that it shows up as so simple means that it was mega hard to get to tip sheets, ideas. If you do nothing else, think through this. The magic in that combination is not one that I have incredible admiration of, because it is not a particular strength of mine. And for me, that it makes everything portable in my thinking as I carry things forward. And I feel good about taking an action, which honestly is an adrenaline. I've got that dopamine going up, did
Yeah.
something, moving forward, but it's actually moving forward towards impact as opposed
Exactly.
to this sort of mindless activity.
Yeah. You've gone through the 12-week accelerator. You've got a number of months left in this first year. Right now, what are you most excited about? What makes you feel proud?
The one that actually comes to mind, believe it or not, is not being a CEO and co-founder of a startup, but I will start there because I think I don't want to undermine what I know it is. And I think we tend to downplay all of those things. I'm a Gen X first time founder, Latina, super proud of what we're building and helping to solve one of these world's problems. And it aligns directly with kind of my personal purpose, which is to ensure full employment for those living with disabilities. It's a much bigger scope, but that's a component of it. And so I'm really excited about that because I feel like I'm equipped as I'm navigating everything every day. As I'm comfortable as a CEO, I've been a leader of multi-billion dollar businesses for a long time. What I haven't been is I literally don't know what the heck I'm doing most of the time. And so I'm leaning, leveraging, trying, failing, getting back up and all that. And then just having the confidence to stay directionally north. And
Mhm.
then, and also having the courage to redefine north, which we've already done once, more of a northwest kind of approach. The other things that I would mention, though, I'm going to mention two other things, which are I personally find it, nor would I want to separate my work self and my daughter, wife, parent, community, volunteer, advocate self. And so when I think of professionally, I think of the energy in the world and how it all just interplays together. So I don't really separate that. But I did that when talking about the CEO and co-founder of MHAYA. The other two things I would mention very quickly are, and one of them I already alluded to, which is I get a lot of pings from people, and it feels great. And historically, it would take my energy, right? Part of it's an introvert, part of it's care provider for three households. It's all those things. But because of reframing, I've come back and said, okay, I'm going to make choices. And by the way, that includes no, I'm not available in the next couple of weeks. However, or I'm not available on the weekends. I turn off my phone on Sundays, by the way. So it's incredibly liberating once you realize you actually have control of your own schedule. This light bulb goes off, and why can't I do it? It's actually under my control. But so that, I've mentioned that. And then I have, two sons who turned 19, and one will be starting university, and one will be starting an adult living skills program. And the things that I get to do with them in preparation for their life will benefit professionally, but it's so much bigger than that. It'll
Yep.
be their impact to the world in addition to how they execute against Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. Oh, Mary, I love the way that you talk about that. And I think it's so true. The impact that we make, it reverberates in 1,000 different directions. And that is true of the impact we make at home and the impact that we make at work.
Mhm.
And to see you talk about it in this way is just, it's so refreshing. And I feel so good about the fact that I've had the great privilege of getting to know you and continuing to watch all of the amazing things that you've got your hands in.
I'm going to say thank you because we all have our views on different things. Where you're like, are you talking to me or are you talking to someone
I'm
else?
talking to you.
Right. And right back at you. We're both moms of twins, and I'm extremely grateful. I'm going to keep that gratitude deep in me, but I'm capitalizing the A in gratitude and getting that attitude part of it and encourage others to do the same.
Awesome. Well, thank you for spending this time. We'll bring you back and see how you're doing.
Thank you. It's great to see you, Jackie.